good morning. Welcome to the Dennis-Yarmouth Intergenerational Veterans Day Musical Salute. I'm Jerry Bedard, a retired Navy commander. That's why I said attention on deck. This is the first time an Intergenerational Veterans Day Musical Salute has been held here at Dennis-Yarmouth Regional High School. I know it will be a program you're going to enjoy. This morning I sat here while they rehearsed and I was totally impressed. They definitely have put a lot of work into this program. I'm a volunteer member of the Yarmouth Age Friendly Community Team and the Intergenerational Liaison to the school department. One of the team's goals is to develop intergenerational programs where citizens of all ages can interact with each other, learn from each other, and respect each other. Thanks to Mr. Morrison and Mr. Belton, you'll see that interaction at work this morning. Veterans Day is a day to honor the service of all military veterans, and for that, we can not thank you enough. In addition, I believe this day should also recognize and thank the families of the veterans. While a service member is away from home for whatever period of time they are deployed, in supporting them, the spouse, partner, and children have to adjust their lives accordingly, many times putting strain on the family unit. Therefore, today's program is a thank you for both the veterans and their families. To start our program, the national anthem will be performed by the 80-member DY Chorus. Please stand. First presenter is Wanda Loring and her daughter Susan. Wanda is a World War II woman Marine veteran and will be 94 this month. Wanda?
I love being in the Marines, and we go back a long way. My grandfather was in the Civil War, and my father, who came from Poland when he was 18, as soon as World War I broke out, he signed up and then automatically became a citizen. And so we love our country, we're very patriotic. And in the Marines, the 5 children in my family, Mary, Rosalind, Elizabeth, and John, went first. And in those days, a woman had to be 20 years of age with her father's consent. but it didn't keep us home. We went on. And my father, we just had a wonderful time. And my daughter wrote me down a few cards. I lived in Boston, and then I was shipped down to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. And during our platoon, my platoon, we won the banner for being the best marchers. So I would be good in your marching band. And now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, and then when we're drilling, we learn songs. You know, when you're marching, you have to learn a song. So my daughter's coming up here, and we're going to sing 2 songs for you. They say that in the Navy, the coffee is divine. It's good for cuts and bruises, it tastes like iodine. We don't fly, Navy time. G-Bot, I wanna go, right back to wanna go. G-Bot, I wanna go home. It's divine, to lace that off the table and start the feeding time. I don't mind Navy life. G-Bot, I wanna go, right back to wanna go. G-Bot, I wanna go home. I was shipped out to California, and I was surprised they have geraniums were growing and bushes around the houses. Little house, about 3 feet high. I was surprised and impressed. And also going to Oklahoma, all the oil rigs that were pumping oil. Let me see what else am I going to say. And then I went down to San Diego, where I was discharged, and my 2 best friends, one lived in Denver, Colorado, and the second one lived in Iowa. But we took the train on the way home to Massachusetts. One of the girls lived in Denver, so we stopped at her house for a few days, and we took her sister's boyfriend's little Ford coupe, and I drove us up to Pike Peak or Bust, and that was a fun house. And then I got home, and when we got to Massachusetts, they gave us a $200 bonus. And the first thing I did with that $200 was buy a stupid fur coat. And then I went to Boston University on the GI Bill and got my AA degree. And then I went to work. And that's the end of my life.
Thank you, Wanda and Susan. Mr. Morrison is a fellow Marine. You have something to look forward to come back in a future program in about 20 or 30 years. America is Beautiful will be presented by the 100-member Intergenerational Band, consisting of students from grade 10 to 12 concert band and the New Horizon Band. They'll be joined by the 80-member DY Chorus. We invite the audience to sing along. veterans will lead Flanders Field, and the chorus will sing Flanders Field.
In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still gravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved, and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, till poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Kathy Murphy is our next presenter. She is the spouse of United States Army veteran, Sergeant First Class Murphy.
The Veterans by Rudyard Kipling. Today across our fathers' graves, the astonished fears reveal. The remnant of that desperate host which cleansed our eastward seal. Hail and farewell, we greet you here, with tears that none will scorn. O keepers of the house of old, or ever you were born. One service more we dare to ask. Pray for us, heroes, pray, that when fate lays on us our task, we do not shame today.
Band will now play Within These Hollow Halls, with narration by DY Senior Student Jack Carter. Bagpiper is Ian McEwen.
In 1776, Patriots created a document that would forever define who we are as Americans. Here, in part, is what they wrote. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Civil War marked a new era in the struggle for freedom, and a nation mourned for those who sacrificed their lives. Listen to the words of Abraham Lincoln. That we here highly resolve, that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. In 1961, John F. Kennedy proclaimed, "Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardships, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. This much we pledge and more."
Commander Edward Fiorentino, United States Navy veteran.
Absolution by Siegfried Sassoon. The anguish of the earth absolves our eyes till beauty shines in all that we can see. War is our scourge, yet war has made us wise. In fight for our freedom, we are free. Horror, wounds, and anger at the foe, and the loss of things desired, all of these must pass. We are the happy legion, for we know time's but a golden wind that shakes the grass. There was an hour when we were lost apart from life we longed to share no less than others. Now, having claimed this heritage of heart, what need we more, my comrades, my brothers?
The next selection is Greatest Generations, with narration by Jack Otter.
Transition, promise, and prosperity. Children of the early 20th century entered a world where anything seemed possible in America. In the aftermath of World War I, we saw America coming of age on all fronts. From the boom of Wall Street to the rise of major industry, the United States of America was quickly taking its place as the most powerful nation on earth. The Roaring '20s ushered in a new era of American dreams and indulgence. Popular culture was rich with entertainment and personalities, such as Babe Ruth and F. Scott Fitzgerald. Radio was broadcast to the heart of America, while the Four Horsemen of Notre Dame became household names for their college football victories. Only history could tell us these were temporary times, soon to be lashed by the winds of change and uncertainty. Shortly after the Blackest of Mondays in October of 1929, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was promising a new deal for America and declaring, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." While others in the world were plotting and sowing seeds of war, America spent most of the 1930s healing and growing. As the decade neared completion, we were once again entertained by major musical stars, including Glenn Miller and Betty Goodman, while Clark Gable and Betty Davis lit up the silver screens across America. In 1940, we entered a new world of promise and prosperity, but it was clear to many that war would define this generation's coming of age. On December 7, 1941, a day that lives in infamy, Pearl Harbor was attacked. The news spread like wildfire across the radio waves, changing the lives of all who heard it. America mobilized like no other society in history. In the weeks that followed, we sent our youth from all walks of life around the world in both directions, not to conquer, but to liberate. Farmers, truck drivers, miners, lawyers, and teachers from every ethnic background and religion joined the effort. FDR reminded us that we are now in this war. We are all in it, all the way. Every single man, woman, and child is a partner in the most tremendous undertaking of our American history. Americans believed in the cause. The freedoms of speech, religion, and economic prosperity became our vision. Not just for us, but the entire planet. After hard-fought battles such as Midway and Guadalcanal, America led the world on June 6, 1944, in the largest amphibious invasion in history. With Pearl Harbor as the beginning, and the beaches of Normandy as the beginning of the end, this noble generation rose to heights not seen before or since. We invite the heroes that served our nation during World War II, as well as those that served on the home front, to now stand. To stand up once again. Stand up once again, united in purpose and passion for a greater world. A world in which you fought, dreamed, and shared with the generations to follow. Lift your hearts as we salute you, our heroes, America's greatest generation.
Wanda's a little bit embarrassed, but you have to really think she is part of the greatest generation. Principal Tony Morrison, Sergeant, United Marine Corps, and Massachusetts National Guard retired, will read Stand Mates.
Good morning, and welcome to my sister and brother veterans, members of our community, and of course, I'll be choked up here, my beloved Dolphins. And if you would, please give the band and the choir a hand, please. Okay, I even put on glasses here. I wrote this for my brother and sister veterans, and it's called Sandmates. Know that freedom is a word that many with courage will say, yet for all those who take up arms, know that on all sides, fear is a common enemy to slay. With the hope of safe return to the softness of our beds, we mercifully pray. To return to our homes, our peacekeeping arms to lay. With our homeland protected, home we shall stay. We touch time here on earth for only moments passing in the blink of an eye, and thankful upon each of dawn's early rise. Memories of love, sadness, joy, and pain, captured within stories, traditions, and beliefs, learned at an early age, like those of the childhood missionary. We are sandmates, destined to chase our happiness throughout the endless sands of time. We have come home with a piece or more missing, and then with unbridled hope, sometimes whole. Yet, as always with my brothers and sisters in arms, we share the loss and the peace of our earthly soul. The sands of time flow swiftly from beneath our feet. We arrive home knowing that the internal pain we feel may have no end. Yes, we have all heard the sounds, the call, and have tasted of life's freedoms. We serve because we do. Our hearts feel the beats of so many who have served and gone before us. So you have given us medals for acts we know that must be done in order for all to live in peace. This we believe within our hearts and within our souls. Know please that we will face the ghosts of wars gone past. Take solace and never forget. We wish only to return and rest our heads upon this soil, this America we call our own, and this land we call home. We are sandmates. We live for one. We live for each other, a nation under God,
with an everlasting peace we pray forever to come. We wish for you and the world to know that we have but one thing to give, to serve, to live, and to protect each other. For there lies within this truth that all we will ever, forever have are each other. Before Mr. Powell and the band plays their final selection, if I could, would you honor me to invite up our newly re-elected state representative and one of my Marine Corps brothers, Tim Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I promise I will be mercifully brief, unlike every other politician you've ever heard in your life. It's a great honor to come here and speak to you on Veterans Day. And thank you very much, Kathy Bailey, for helping to put this together. Thank you, Principal Morrison, for putting this together. And thank you, Officer Pascarosa, Alex Pendleton. What a wonderful, wonderful recognition we have of the great service of our veterans. This is not only Veterans Day. I just want to take note of one important thing that 2018 represents with our dear United States Marine Corps veteran right here. This is also the 100th anniversary of women serving in the United States Marines.
That my sister Rosman was with the group of Marines and Waves who were sworn in at the old Boston Garden at the same time. It was wonderful, and I still have a copy from the old Boston paper listing all the girls who were sworn in on that day. And the Marines had no place to go for training, so they went to Hunter College in New York City. And then from there, my sister Rosman went down to Tennessee and later became an airplane mechanic in Cherry Point, North Carolina. She was a staff sergeant and a big boss.
Thank you, Devil Dog, and a happy birthday. November 10th is the Marine Corps birthday. You will hear about it on social media 6,000 times between now and November 10th, because every Marine will celebrate their birthday. So, ma'am, Wanda, from the first woman Marine, Ova Mae Johnson, to the most recent woman Marine graduating from the 4th Recruit Training Battalion down at Parris Island, South Carolina, women have served with honor in the United States Marines and in all of the other branches of service for over 100 years. God bless you and thank you very much. I told you I'd be brief, right? I just want to harken back to the year 1991. I was serving on active duty in the United States Marine Corps. I was down at Camp Lejeune, and it was before, during, and after the ground war during the First Gulf War, while I was stationed down there. And I would daily participate in a convoy driving from Camp Lejeune up to Cherry Point, North Carolina. The troops were coming back from the desert in Iraq and Kuwait. They were coming and they were landing by Teleray charter aircraft, but they were also the cargo planes that were loading. My job, I was a truck driver. I would go up there, I would load the back of my truck with all the gear and participate in the convoy. It's about 40, 45 miles or so, if memory serves correctly, from Cherry Point to Camp Lejeune. The thing that I'll remember about participating in these convoys is we would be riding up. Every telephone pole for 40 to 45 miles would have a yellow ribbon wrapped around it. And on our way back, the schools would know the times of our convoys, and they would be standing out with their students, waving flags, welcoming the troops home. It was the most incredible gesture of patriotism and love I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if I'll ever see anything like that ever again. And that stands in sharp contrast to what our Vietnam veterans experienced when they came home. Friends of mine who served in Vietnam that were being told when they came home to not wear military uniforms for fear of being attacked in the airport. Our nation will define itself and define its decency by how they recognize and how they treat those who've earned us those freedoms. So as we go forward and we approach Veterans Day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you one thing. If you see a veteran, no matter their age, please go up, extend your hand and thank them for their service. 22 veterans a day, you've probably seen it's well publicized, 22 veterans a day in the United States take their lives because of the effects of cumulative PTSD and disassociation from their communities. Not all of them are young veterans. The majority of them are older veterans, and it's finally catching up with them. By extending your hand and reaching out and saying, thank you very much for your service, how are you doing? You might be the bridge that gets that one veteran through a very, very difficult day. So please do your bit. Please recognize our veterans. Please appreciate their service because they signed a blank check willing to pay up to their lives to defend the freedom that you and I and my family and your family enjoy every day. Thank you very much for recognizing our veterans. God bless America.
Well, I don't have my script, so we're going to play it by ear. Okay, the last thing, we're going to have the Armed Forces medley. When you hear your service branch that you served in, please stand and be recognized.
Now may you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I said you would probably enjoy this. Did you enjoy it? Let's give them a round of applause. But I mentioned this morning when I was sitting there watching them rehearse, you could tell the great job they did, and they worked very, very hard. We have to be very grateful to Mrs. Morrison and Mr. Pendleton for allowing this to do this work they went into it. When Tony and I were discussing intergenerational programming, as soon as I mentioned veterans, the wheels in his head started turning as to what we could do for a veterans program. Mr. Pendleton was brought in and would get his suggestions. And as they say, this is the rest of the story. He created and produced this program. We also have to thank Superintendent of Schools Carol Woodbury and Ken Jenks, Deputy Superintendent, for allowing intergenerational programming into the DY schools. Without their approval, none of the activities of these programs, as presented today, would be possible. Now, as I mentioned, I'm the intergenerational liaison from the Age-Friendly Committee to the school department. I'd like to talk to you briefly about the intergenerational programming. Mrs. Morrison and myself and people in the school department are looking into other programs where we can get more intergenerational programs into the schools. As I said at the start, the Yarmouth Age-Friendly Community Team's goals are our best to make Yarmouth an age-friendly community, where citizens of all ages could interact with each other, learn from each other, and respect each other. We're an advisory team to the Board of Selectmen. We've conducted programs and workshops on abuse, ageism, transportation, caregiving, and aging in place, to mention a few. Last month I gave a short presentation before the Yarmouth Board of Selectmen, and I stated I strongly believe in intergenerational programs. Today's program is an example why I believe in intergenerational programs. And you can just look at the stage and you see a mixture. Sitting here listening to the speakers this morning, it didn't dawn on me. The military is intergenerational. Just looking at the ages of the people we had here this morning, very definitely intergenerational. A program that's been very successful at the high school is the Intergenerational Model UN. Some of you might have participated in it, or at least you've been aware of it. That's where we pair 20 or so students with an equal number of adults. They represent various nations to discuss issues that are relevant to most countries, such as aging. These simulations are conducted similar to an authentic United Nations session. Last month, 22 students held a session on aging at the Massachusetts Council on Aging Conference in Falmouth. A spring model is tentatively scheduled with the topic of women. The age-friendly team is organizing an intergenerational Veterans Memorial Day program that we hope some of you will join. When I say some of you, I am not only talking to the adults, I am also talking to the students. We realize veterans and seniors have vast experience and knowledge that should be shared. Adults who have participated in various programs stated in their evaluations how much they enjoyed and benefited from their interactions. A project of support was conducted last year when 100 winter coats were donated for veterans and distributed through the Senior Center. Hopefully that will be available again this year. If you're interested in intergenerational activities, would like more information about future events, winter coat availability, beyond an informative mailing list, I urge you to stop by at the tables that we have set up at the back on your way out. And members of the Yarmouth age-friendly team will be there to assist you in answering your questions. I know you would find intergenerational activities very satisfying. This goes for the young people also. Okay, now I'd like to speak to the young members of the audience, which we have quite a few here today. I'm sure you're sitting there wondering, what does all this intergenerational stuff have to do with me? I mentioned the age-friendly team held workshops on abuse, ageism, and talked about respecting each other. Now I ask you, how do you treat and respect people? Are you patient when an older person ahead of you in line is a little bit slow? What about that car on 6A you're behind? That's only going 25 or 30 miles an hour. I bet you swear. I have. And I'm not your age. Remember, today you're a day older than yesterday. And believe me, they add up fast. That's what this stuff has to do with you. Intergenerational is not just for special programs. It's how all ages interact every day. I want to thank everyone for attending this morning, and we hope to have you involved in the Memorial Day program. Lastly, if I didn't mention this to all the Marines present, and I can feel the eyes bearing on the back of my head because I got too many damn Marines standing in back of me now. Well, one sailor equals all of you guys, so. Because I saw a couple sailors standing up there. Okay, you never forgive me if being thoughtless and if I did this. But being a former sailor who respects the Marines, I must say, as the representative said, in 2 days will be the 243rd birthday of the United States Marine Corps. So happy birthday, Marines. Thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoyed the